What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Hot Swappable Gaming, talking about RWBY Volume 7, Episode 6, A Night Off. I'm Connor, as always. To my left is Zach.
What's up?
To his left is Mike.
What up?
So this was an episode. This was a hell of an episode. Anything you want to get off your chest right at the beginning, or shall we just go step by step?
I think this one makes sense to go step by step because there's so much to unpack. But it is genius what Watts did. Genius.
I love it.
Beyond genius.
There's so many little details about what he's doing, too, that make me think of, well, what does this indicate for the future?
Yep. Anyway, I think we should go step by step, unless Mike has something, just because there's so much.
Episode starts off where we see the aftermath of the quote-unquote riots that happened the night before. Really thought it was going to be a bigger deal.
I did too.
So did I, but people were in handcuffs, so it's potential there was a little bit of a time skip, but there wasn't like fire. There wasn't like, the Hong Kong riots right now. It was, okay, you guys threw a couple things at a building.
Flipped a car. That's something from riots I've never understood. Why do you flip cars? You're not like flipping, like if you flip a police car to say fuck the government, it's like, I might not agree with you, but at least I understand what you're trying to show. But like when you just flip a civilian's car, it's like, what if that guy's one of your rioters? What if he's on your side?
Oh, undoubtedly it probably was. But that's the thing with riots. They just want to create chaos.
Eh.
There's I guess some people just want to create chaos to make it easier to move around.
Fair enough. Throughout this episode, we also see one recurring character who doesn't say anything at any point, but he really helps set the tone of everything that's happening. It's the guy who was the Faunus hater in episode 1.
Yeah.
He
was in this, wasn't he?
Yeah, he shows up 3 separate times, all involving the voting that was happening. And him seem very conflicted. And it's kind of, I think, to show off what Jacques' real plan was of getting some people on his side. Because he's probably the kind of guy who wanted to vote for Hill, who didn't want to vote for Jacques, but he had to choose between his own livelihood and what he thought was best. That's a fucking hard thing to choose between.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that aspect, but fair enough.
That's what I thought his whole character was for. And it hit me. I feel bad for the guy. The dude might be a racist, but I feel bad for him.
I mean, it showed humanity.
Mm-hmm. We keep going. We get kind of into like a little mini montage again. We see Weiss and Winter do some battling. This time Weiss gets the jump on Winter.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty genius. He's a little small guy to get by him.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, in my head, I didn't say anything, but I was like, in my head, I'm like, oh, I could use my bird that way.
And the whole time, I think it was just meant to show off how their semblances are growing.
Yeah.
How Weiss is just getting better at controlling hers. We see that Jean seems to recover his own aura, which is fucking huge.
That's nuts. When he was doing that, I was like, that breaks all the rules of aura.
Yeah.
Which is why I think there's something bigger with his story as well. I mean, there's always kind of been that hint, but we also saw Ruby do something.
We have seen her do that before.
Not to that level.
Well, in the Volume 4 trailer, I was very skeptical of the trailer because I was like, well, what the fuck are these guys doing? What the... Ruby's semblance is about making her go fast. It's not about her becoming rose petals and splitting off into multiple versions of herself. I thought that they were butchering her semblance after Monty was gone. But now that they're actually touching on it, it's like, okay, that makes more sense now. They're saying that her semblance isn't speed. She can split apart to do certain things like that. I don't know the advantage of doing it that way, but it's the thing she can do.
She can go around an object instead of like... I think it's a faster way to move around an object.
That's basically moving through an object.
Exactly. See, that's exactly how I saw it.
But she can't go through it. She still had to go around it. If she just ran and then ran around it, it seems to be pretty much the net same thing. So that's why I'm confused as to why the purpose of having her split apart is.
It could potentially increase her speed as she splits apart.
That could be.
because it was a small object, we didn't notice it.
And in terms of combat, I can understand it being a lot more useful. But just for like going around to pillar, it just seems like a waste to me.
Sure, that's fair.
We see Ren seems to do something as well too. What were you saying, Mike?
No, I was just gonna say, just in context from moving perspective, it would seem useless. So I'm assuming it's just because it has a different use, probably.
Ren, his aura or his semblance seems to be doing something different, but I'm not entirely sure what it is. Where he's kind of in like a meditative
meditation.
trance.
Yeah.
Almost like a sixth sense, really.
Kind of.
Eyes closed, looked up.
I wonder if he's going to be able to enter like a state of nirvana, like what the monks do, and having his like mind leave his body.
Kind of like a Doctor Strange type thing.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. Tranquility or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was kind of cool with Nora too. I wonder if it can translate into her hitting projectiles back. Not just like a rubber ball, but maybe she can do it so precise that she can hit like a rocket or something back at someone. Maybe. I don't know if that's what they were trying to hint at, but I know she was more testing John. But
I guess she did seem to be charging the balls with electricity, not needing an external source. So that could be part of where hers developing is.
True.
Oh, well. Then Ironwood comes in, pretty much says, Ren's like, hey, what can we do? Ironwood says, you get the night off, you get to do whatever the fuck you want to do.
We did get Oscar saying, like, hey, I don't have my semblance.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you guys are all getting better, and I don't have my semblance.
What is his semblance going to be?
Who knows if he'll get one? Sit the fuck down, farm boy. Maybe he doesn't get one.
They wouldn't bring it up this much without them giving it to him.
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't have one. And maybe that's the thing. They string you along thinking he's going to get a semblance, but then the reality breaks in that he's just a human in this giant war.
Just from a writing perspective, I think that's terrible.
They did the same thing with Jean, like last season. Because they were like, all right, well, they as soon as they started talking about it, like near the end of the season, they threw a semblance in there.
Volume 5, not last season.
Yeah,
Volume 5, my bad. When they were in the fight, like near the end of the season, or they talked about it at the beginning when he's talking with Ozpin, and then at the end, they were like, all right, here you go.
Fair enough.
What if it'd be interesting if he could like split himself into two people, so that we have Ozpin and him able to fight alongside each other.
It might be what he needs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I kind of like the idea of him not getting one.
Yeah, I absolutely like the idea.
But I don't know. We'll see.
Just from a writer's perspective, if that's what they're doing it the wrong way. Because there have been other very combat-capable people who we've never seen their semblance. And Torchwick is the big example of that. According to his backstory, he never had a semblance, or at least he never discovered what it was. So,
fair enough.
And that they never mentioned it. It was just like, that's just him. So just from their writing and how I've kind of gotten to analyze it over time, I think we're going to see Oscar's semblance by the end of the volume.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
What, Mike?
So if we do, you get no idea what it might be. Just on the basis of is it born out of necessity?
And that's what I'm thinking, and that's what they've said, is that sometimes your semblance comes to you because of just it seems random, but most of the time it seems to be based on something about you. So Oscar being so conflicted about if he's not who he is, being able to divide that personality up is why I'm thinking that might be a semblance.
Yeah, fair enough.
Team takes some time off. They're all chilling in their room, figuring out exactly what they're going to do. We also get the first look of the pulls that's happening between Jacque and Robin. And Weiss brings up a very happy point that I'm happy that she's the thinking one. And Yang pissed me off a little bit. She's like, why would my dad close things down? He would know that this would affect him in the polls. This isn't a smart thing for him to do. And Yang's just like, seems like he's the fucking idiot who made a mistake.
I mean, in defense, like she was already like, all right, I'm done with this. I'm trying to hit this dance tonight.
Dude, the writers are pushing Bumblebee so hard.
Yeah.
Why are you two always going together?
I mean, it's what the fans wanted.
It is a little too in my face now. I like the subtleness earlier in the earlier episodes, but now it's just like, just fuck. Just kiss. Just do anything.
It's crazy because you guys were hating each other just a little bit ago. Yeah.
That's just. I just want it to happen and have less of the flirting details mentioned at this point because I don't care about them going to a dance. It might matter next episode with the Grimm attacking. Maybe there's going to be something going on there. I don't know. But I just don't fucking care about that dance right now.
Especially because they were like, well, this is how you do it.
That was a funny little bit, though. Yeah,
I get
a better
it.
dancer.
I liked how they split up. How it was like Weiss, John, and Oscar, of all people, go to the movie.
I love that. We're going to a movie. Anyone want to? I'm coming. Okay.
Okay. I love when, well, we'll get there. But nonetheless, Ruby and Nora and Ren, they all go to the party.
While they're on their way, they have an interesting conversation where they're talking about telling the truth to Ironwood, and even if they do tell the truth, then they have to deal with the aftermath and what that means. And they start talking about, well, they talk about that kind of thing that we've talked about, and I'm sure plenty of others have about, well, Jin said that Oz can't destroy her. Does that mean someone else could? I don't fucking know. Maybe. I'm wondering if that might be leading to what the question will be. Well, I'm wondering if that's going to lead to Ruby asking Jin that question. Is there any way to take down Salem?
Yeah, wasting the. Well, I wouldn't say wasting the last question, but using the last question. I thought about that too. I was like, dang. And then at that point, technically, she'd be telling the truth, at least partially.
Who can kill Salem? They're not born for another 100 years. Well, fuck.
The child that you and John. Well, fuck. I shouldn't have said that.
Don't push it.
Oh, I don't want that ship to happen. That's just what Mike wants.
Pyrrha can kill
ships.
Salem, but you let her die.
Snap.
As the genie stares at fucking John, you let her die, and that's where he commits suicide. Seppuku or Sudoku, depending on where you're from.
Yeah. What if Oscar actually uses the last question?
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. And then tells Ironwood.
I'd like to see that. I'd like Oscar to play a bigger role in things.
And maybe that's where Ozpin comes back, like, no, don't.
How do I remove Ozpin from me?
Go kill yourself.
You can't. Fuck.
Well, he could.
That's impossible.
He just went and lived to see it happen.
This is true. Oh, that'd be an interesting twist. Oscar dies and then it ends up going into Jean. That would be weird. After John hating him so much, it's like, well, shit.
Now I gotta live with you for the rest of my life.
Hey, grandson.
GG.
But anyway, so they kind of all go their ways. They're on the way to the party.
Ren is beating himself up a little bit.
I absolutely love what's going on with Ren, though.
I do too, because I completely understand. Now that he's actually talking, I just love the whole Nora Ren bit in general, though.
He has that line where he says, we should be training. We shouldn't be here. We should, we need to be ready because we're definitely not ready. We need to be more ready. And that leads into the whole fight that him and Nora start having.
Yep.
That ends up with a beautiful, beautiful kiss. Oh, one of them's gonna die so much.
So
they're not
let's
gonna
take
die.
One of them's gonna die.
Let's take a quick poll. Mike, which one is dying? No is not an answer. Which one is dying?
They're not
Which
dying. I won't
one
let them die.
is dying?
If
I don't
they
care
die,
what you want.
They would
Tell
kill
me which
Nora.
one is dying.
They would not kill her.
There we go. That's your answer. Nora, Connor, which one is dying?
It's gonna be Nora.
See, I think they've been leading us up to think Nora's gonna die, and I think it's gonna be Ren.
It
I
could
think
be.
Ren is gonna sacrifice himself for Nora.
It would certainly make sense for them to try and mislead us that way. But it's because of what we see in a little bit in this episode with Tyrion and the poison involving that involved the killing of Thor.
I get it.
I think Nora's gonna be the one to die.
But neither one of them's dying, so we're just gonna keep tracking. All right, so we're starting
There
into the
is
party.
a character in this episode that is going to die, though. Who might that be, Michael?
Well, let's not get too far. So like get into the party. I just want to like get to like the part where it was like really starting to build up.
Well, hey, we see Penny. Penny sees Ruby.
Penny and Mero are
Penny's
there
gonna die.
providing defense.
Penny is gonna die.
Penny
I'm
is
calling
not
it
gonna
now.
die. I'm telling you right now, Penny is not gonna die. I don't care what the writers do. If I see anything that looks like Penny's gonna die, I'm gonna hit the pause button. I'm gonna close the browser, and I'm gonna walk away. And I'll never, ever watch that episode or anything past that episode ever. That'll be the end of Ruby for me. It was a great ending.
It's gonna be Cinder Air, the bow drawn, pointing at Penny. What a way to end
It
the show!
really-
Wow, really a real cliffhanger.
Wonder what they'll come up with next.
We
Nah,
do get more sweet Penny and Ruby moments, which I'm a huge fan of. I love the moments. I'm loving nuts and bolts still. I'm loving it more and more with every episode.
We see real emotion from her this episode too. Like Penny
Got a
shows,
fist bump.
dude, it broke her hand, but
She's like, I can feel that.
you know, this is a side tangent. I think Ruby's character is so fitting for Lindsay.
Mm,
Like, it is Lindsay to a T.
yeah, she does a great job voice acting.
She is Ruby. That's oh man. Anyway,
But we continue into the event. We have Hill come up because it's her whole little gathering party. She has a fun little conversation with Mero that I really like. She's talking about, yeah, you might not understand this, but people aren't, or but the law isn't equal here. He's like, motherfucker, I'm a faunus. If anyone gets this shit, it's me. And what the fuck are you gonna do, huh? Is it gonna be all above board, all following the law? Of course, yeah, totally, 100%.
yeah, I did love that exchange where he's like, "Well, as long as it follows the law, as long as it follows the law, like, I don't care what you do, just do it right."
I love Mero. I'm loving him
But-
more and more with every episode.
I think Mero is one of the better characters this volume. Hill's bodyguards, though, are just savage. Like
I
they go,
fucking hate all of them.
dude. I
Whoa, not all of
stand
them.
them.
All of them.
The fondest girl is cool.
I don't mind the lamb. Exactly.
She's
I don't,
cute. I still hate her.
Why?
She's just, she's just like Hill. She's just the fucking right hand Hill woman.
Yeah.
See, my problem is
More.
I see her as a traitor because I see Zootopia from Disney, how the little
Oh my
lamb
goodness.
actually like is causing all the issues. That's all I see every time. Someone else in charge. The little lamb is the sidekick, but it was the little lamb causing all the issues. Like,
Oh my goodness.
thanks Disney Plus. Just watched that recently.
Jeez.
That's all I was thinking the whole time.
Zootopia. This-
Anywho,
but all the
I
time.
guess I was alone there. I thought someone else.
I 100% did not put that together.
I have never even seen Zootopia, so I could not have put that
I
together.
recommend it. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
But like,
Watch all Disney movies. All of them. They're all great. I don't care what anyone says. Alright, maybe not all of them.
I was gonna say,
That one movie that like has zippity doo dah. Maybe that one's not great.
talking about Cinderella. Oh,
is that-
no, Zippity Doo Dah, Chim Chimchery. My oh my, what a wonderful day.
It's the Song of the South. Songs of the South or whatever.
yeah. Yeah, that's a stupid one.
That's just, with PC culture where it is. Let's just, I'll just cut that one out. I'm just not even ever gonna watch it. Don't know if I ever did. Never gonna. But anyway, continuing on here, Robin gives a speech. It's fine. It's like a typical speech. When she was talking the whole time, I was just thinking, like specifically with the lamb and her. When I see, actually, this is what I thought with the lamb. I was thinking of her as like Hillary Clinton. So I just kept
Wow.
expecting the whole time in my mind. I'm just like, Pokemon, go to the polls. So that's where my mind was about the lamb.
GG.
I thought it was man, but so during the poll, like she's up 67% to 33%.
It was a massive shift.
It was a huge shift because all of a sudden, they're talking, and it goes to like 45, 55, and I was like, in that 5-minute conversation, he went up 10%. 10%? How many people decided to go at the last fucking minute?
It's kind of odd because Iron was watching like the polls and everything, or someone is watching these polls. I'm trying to figure out like who doesn't notice like this massive trend that
See,
jumps.
that's where my head went too. However, this is where I think the genius of it is, but we're not there yet. Cause a massive disruption. No one notices the polls. They're focused on other things.
So yeah, someone had to have been focused.
I think
And
it also
it may come up, but
I think it could also be rationalized of the fact of most of the people who I imagine voted for Jacques, it was because they were choosing between their livelihood and what they actually wanted. And a lot of those people, they would try and wait to the last minute to make their decision.
Yeah, I guess that brings up the question: was it hacked, or was this actually because of the act that happened?
see, I believe the final win, I believe, was hacked.
I think so as well.
I figured they estimated it would be close, but like, I don't know. There's no way. It's too coincidental.
I don't know.
It does raise that question though. Like, did they even need to hack at that point, or was it because of the hacking that they got pushed over the edge?
And that would be very interesting if it comes out that Watts didn't do any hacking for the election. If it turns out that was just people voting for Jacques, then.
But we saw him mess with the election map.
Well,
he had it pulled up. We don't know for a fact that he was hacking it. It makes sense to assume so.
He hit a button and it went more blue.
Did he?
Yeah. On the keyboard. So I'm fairly certain
like,
he hit something on his keyboard and it goes more blue. It's before he shuts the case the last time. It goes more blue after he hits a button.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
Yeah, because it was like a lot of yellow, and then all of a sudden, like, he does something, and it all goes blue. So, like, he pushed that final win.
Okay, yeah. So that definitely does confirm that.
And I have a feeling he flipped. I don't know how it works, and I don't know their electoral system, but I have a feeling he took some of the bigger districts and flipped them. That's what I'm assuming, because there was still yellow in certain parts. Like, he didn't want it to be too much, or he did a bunch of like the little ones, but the bigger districts stayed hill. I don't know.
Makes sense. Target the more working class areas, places that would actually vote for Jacques under that argument.
More population, yeah. Yeah. So that was the first thing. That's why I say he hacked it, because I'm fairly certain I don't have it pulled up, but he hit something or he did something and it went all blue.
Yeah.
I mean, that's some clear hacking there.
Yeah, that's why I believe it's gonna. I don't know if he'll get caught, but
That also just helped me to see Tyrion semblance. Indirectly.
It was so. As I guess we'll continue a little bit before that happens. We do see that Tyrion and Watts are there. They're planning something, and then they make their move. Ruby sees Tyrion. Tyrion starts just taking everybody the fuck out as the lights go off from Watts.
But it's genius how he does it, because at the same time Watts is actually hacking Penny, and she can't see him.
That's what I was going to ask.
I'm pretty sure she has some sort of backup recording because she can't see him, or he's deleting that image from her, I don't know, her computer inside of her that's recording. So if they were to go public trying to prove that Tyrion was there, there's no proof. All you see is Penny moving around and people dying.
And that's one of the things I wasn't certain of. Was Penny actually being hacked? Was there any frame in there that indicated that that was for sure happening?
I don't think so, but you see her vision at one point, and you don't see Tyrion.
Yet you see someone moves by and Tyrion disappears in that exact instant. And that's what I wasn't sure of. Was it just Tyrion being that fucking stealthy? Or was she being hacked? And I think it is her being hacked.
I think it was her being hacked, showing us what can happen in the future. And this is why I say what Watts and Tyrion did, as much as I don't agree with it, pure genius. They chose the perfect opportunity to do it.
So my question here is, Watts hacking, or not hacking, but is Watts controlling Tyrion?
That was also something I wasn't certain about.
And see, I couldn't tell if he was controlling Tyrion or if it was doing, like, if he was hacking Penny. Because he definitely did the thing of, like, okay, let's go VR type thing, like, what's it called? Pacific Rim type style. Okay.
He's like he was
he pulls up his hands, I'm pretty sure. Like, he does something with it, like, similar, okay, I'm going live, let's do it. And I took it as going after Penny, because Tyrion is a very capable fighter, especially unsuspecting foes. Tyrion can slaughter them. Oh, he did. He can slaughter them, no problem. He doesn't need help.
And it'd be very weird for him to be controlling Tyrion.
See, he was in the dark, though. Can he see in the dark, is the question? Because if he can't, that would make sense. As far as he doesn't need to see, because he is like...
I'm happy you brought this up. So, Penny has night vision. She can see in the dark.
For sure.
As we have heard previously, Faunus can see in the dark.
Well, okay, got it.
Yeah. But the exception to that has happened earlier this volume was Mero.
Okay, all right.
And
cool.
I
that was one.
doubted my theory about the Mech 5 or about my Faunus rules in my in the D&D rule book because of that. But I haven't adjusted that because I want to wait until the very end of the volume to find out if he is in fact a mech. Because if he's a mech, then that means all Faunus can still see in the dark, like my theory proves, and that this reveal means that Mero is in fact a mech.
So the other thing was the lamb girl, or the sheep girl. She didn't seem adept in the dark because she didn't know what the heck was going on either.
But think about this. If you're part of a team of someone who's an elected official, think about, like, the bodyguards for the president, right? Their one goal is to make sure they're alive. It could be the same thing. Make sure Hill's safe. So maybe the lamb, instead of focusing on the crowd, she's focusing on Hill. Or, if my theory's right, going Zootopia, she's in line with Salem, and she knows it. And she was getting backing from Salem, knowing that little lamb ain't so little.
I mean, the only problem with
how
she almost got cut down with Tyrion.
Almost. Tyrion could have killed her. Almost. I'm just saying, don't trust that little lamb. She's bad news.
Get out. For that point. All I'm saying is, like, she didn't seem like she knew what was going on. Sure, he did sneak up on her. It didn't seem like she could see what was going on outside of what was in her direct vicinity, like a Faunus would be able to, or as we've seen in the past anyway.
The only thing that I find bullshit
when Tyrion runs up to get the jump on the lamb girl is not looking in Tyrion's direction. She turned around to look at Hill.
So my theory is correct. Trying to protect
you
Hill.
have to jump on her, yeah.
So that makes sense for her not seeing him, despite the night vision, and it could also mean her being in cahoots with Watts.
The only thing that I found complete BS was how useless Ren and Nora were.
For fucking real.
They just stood there. And then when the lights came on, what happened? Did you not hear everybody screaming? Like, you didn't even try.
They can't see, no one can see in the dark, right?
But a skilled hunter is going to have some sort of skill to know, like, help people get out the door. There's doors right behind you. Open them.
And my bigger point with that one is Ren is the guy who's trying to be there and ready for combat.
And he got... Yeah.
So, let's see, there was the one exception in the one moment where he got distracted, which is what I think he was trying not to do the whole time. That's why he was, like, trying to be, like, not romantic, and distant, wants to be ready for those kinds of situations. And coincidentally, as soon as he drops his guard, look what happens. And he's probably gonna beat himself up after this too.
Probably.
And I also felt Ruby was kind of useless too, though. Like she gets hit back, and then she's trying to move forward, but she just stands there. She's not like she knows Tyrion's there. She knows what to be looking for. That's also my issue. Like,
I can understand the argument though of you want to make sure you're avoiding civilian casualties. But I still feel like she could have done something.
here's the thing. So, human anatomy is your eyes adjust to the dark. Those lights were off, yes. Now, don't get me wrong. It wasn't minutes that the lights were off, but they were off enough with light-colored eyes. Lighter colored eyes adjust to the dark faster. That's why people with blue eyes can see better in the dark than those with brown or even like hazel.
I did not know this, okay.
Yes, this is anatomy. So her being silver, a color, just a different gradient of white, her eyes should have adjusted faster. And like I said, it's not minutes, but she would have adjusted. If you turn off the lights in your bedroom, you adjust decently quick. I mean, I do.
Oh,
I have blue eyes. Like that's how I work. When the lights go off, I can see decently.
What are you looking
All
at
right,
there, Mike?
So now I just went back so I can see. So like Tyrion is looking at 4 different cameras
I'm looking at
simultaneously.
that exact frame right
One
now.
is Tyrion, one is Penny, one is a drone, and one is the mantle Penny security cam.
But it says drone live cam. Drone live cam.
So the drone live cam was the one that was looking inside of there while the party was happening. The mantle security Penny cam, I don't know what that is. And
I
then
assume that's her eyes, her vision, right?
No, because she's got a different one saying Penny cam. I think that's probably her eyes. I don't know what the Penny mantle security Penny cam. Maybe that's like an ad hoc, I guess.
It could be like a subsystem, like a node in the city, do an overarching view, so that if something were to come into play, like the Griffin Grim come into play, it alerts, and so now she knows to look to that cam, and she can see what's going on, and then she knows where to go.
So it is a really weird angle because in that picture, she's not inside like she is currently at the current point of time. It is her fighting some Grim outside on city streets.
Oh, that's probably what's gonna happen. You're probably right, Zach. So like he's probably gonna alter this video for her fighting the Grim and put her inside of the drone live cam, so it looks like she's attacking people. And it's since he has a Tyrion cam, it's probably from Tyrion's view. It's gonna be from like a person view. So he's probably gonna remove the Penny cam altogether, and it's just gonna be the Tyrion cam where
and just
like
do a mesh.
His eyes.
Yeah, see, and it's gonna go public because they're gonna want to know what happened. Jacques is going to be like, "Give me the footage." Oh, hey, look what I have, footage. Is Ironwood even able to be trusted?
I wonder if his rings that he's carrying are meant to control Penny's swords.
So I seen him use them once, I think earlier in the season.
But she had 5 blades, right? Is it 5 or 6?
She has 8 blades. She has at least 8 blades, and he has 4 on each of his primary fingers.
So it makes sense that he's controlling Penny.
Well, the only thing with that, I guess
think it's
that
8,
might make sense. Because when he first got into the city, or when they first showed him walking in Mantle, he used those same like blue rings, or I think maybe at least one of them, to like he's basically controlling stuff around the city. Like he made the car crash because he like brought up like the roadblocks, and then he did something else, and he was using those little blue rings. So they definitely probably controlling like circuitry.
It is 8 swords.
If he has 8 rings, it would make sense.
Mike, sorry.
No, you get.
Sorry. Those are essentially existential limbs of Penny.
And he was constantly moving them around in a flowing motion like her swords go.
So that she probably wouldn't catch on to being hacked, as well as to also limit her from actually sending him a Tyrion. Worst case, he could hold him back. I don't know.
Trying to get a look at Tyrion to see, like, does he have implants or does he have like a headset on? No, he doesn't
look
have
like
a
he has
headset
anything.
on. So he definitely has to have like maybe some mechanical implants.
Maybe, or he has like a little like bud. I mean, like a hearing aid. Those things are pretty invisible.
But then how would he replace the footage?
What?
Because the drone cam is looking directly at Tyrion.
Oh,
then
you're
he's
talking
got a
about the
Tyrion
footage
cam.
itself.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like if he's going to frame her, like there would have to be a view from Tyrion.
He's got a metal tail. He may have metal eye, like enhanced eyes as well.
Yeah, something like an implant.
He'd be
or
willing to do
something
it
like that.
for Salem.
If Salem told him to, he would do it. And we already know Watts is in cahoots with Salem, so.
And now that I look at it, it wasn't a fatal blow. He did cut her, but it didn't look like she's gonna die from that.
You're talking about when Tyrion attacks the lamb?
Yeah.
And that's another interesting point. We see what is now for certain Tyrion's semblance.
Yeah.
Because that's
I'm
that
barely
purple light. That's not just coming through his tail now. That's not just a trait. That is glowing in his eyes, and he fucking used it on his hands to pretty much take that lamb down immediately. Now, maybe her aura was down because she wasn't prepared, but I feel like her aura would have been up in that situation. Which means she could be a traitor like Zach's thinking, or maybe he's just that powerful with that poison. Maybe it goes through the wound, or goes through the aura.
Temporarily disrupts it. So
Although it looks like he did completely end her aura with that one hit.
just cut through it.
I'm telling you. Zootopia.
You might be right.
He
I would
said
like to
Zootopia.
see. I would like to see that theory prove true, because that is such a dumb argument for why someone's a traitor. I would love it.
But see, the thing is, I think it goes back to it might have been our last discussion, talking about how Pyrrha could come back as like a vessel for Salem. It's potential Salem wants different vessels in different areas. Maybe that she can transfer herself, much like Ozpin transfers himself upon death. I don't know. It's the potential she wants someone in each area.
Maybe.
Who's in to suspect the little lamb? Mayor Lionheart didn't. Maybe Hill won't. Y'all can salt me in the comments, but it's legit.
So, after that whole attack happens, Tyrion's gone. Watts packs up his stuff and leaves. We see that Jacques wins the election
Through hacking.
Yep, through that hacking. And then everyone seems to be looking in horror and anger at Penny, as she has very clearly been framed for the attack.
Yeah, it was very... Yeah. Well, and that's when, as well, Ren and Nora run up to Ruby. What happened? Gorsh, what's going on, guys? It's like fucking Donald on the...
Maybe they didn't even know that the lights went off. Maybe they were too busy kissing.
That's what I was talking about. I ain't gonna let you come at them like this. Like, very clearly they were distracted. And like I said, like this whole time, Ren has been like, all right, he's been like on edge pretty much. Like, all right, what's next? We need to train. What's going down? I need to know what's going on so I can be ready for whatever happens. Boom, gets distracted by Nora, and then boom, look what happens. Because I feel like Ren would have already been ready based on his semblance. He would have been able to do something about this situation or done more. But coincidentally, Nora was very concerned, and this was probably bound to happen anyway at some point. The timing, though.
Romance is going to throw off the team, cause deaths. Bumblebee's going to cause the team to fail. Hope you're ready for that.
She loses her other arm.
Right. There was a conversation, or there was a one other YouTuber that I watched for the last season, Eruption Fang. He brought up the main reason they doesn't like Bumblebee is because it shows that Blake and Yang will have a higher priority for each other than they will for the team, and it might cause the team to suffer. So I would like to see that as a plot point actually happen.
That's valid.
While Penny's being framed, back on topic here, we do see Mero's semblance again.
Dude, I was going to say, and we saw it full force. Cool. It's so much more powerful than we thought. Mm-hmm. Like, one, I like that he uses dog commands. I think that's pretty funny. But two, he stopped an entire crowd. Like, I assume there's aura limits to that, right? You know, it definitely takes probably more aura for more people that you're stopping. But, I mean, he's just literally like, stay. And, like, they stop. Did they stop or did they just slow down? I'm pretty sure they slowed down to a point where it was almost stopped. so that they could get out of there. But like, I think Mero is one of the most unique, creative characters we've seen.
I love him.
I'm glad he was there, as opposed to Elm, Vine, all of them.
Yeah.
Although it does point into your theory, why wouldn't the Ace Op leader be there with Penny? Clover. Is Clover in cahoots with Salem?
I mean, the whole team wasn't there though,
Yeah,
so
but
that'd be
why
kind of
would you
tough to
send
say.
Mero? Now, it could have been to stop riots because of his semblance. However, if it's such a high priority thing that you're having Penny stationed there, clearly it's a bigger deal. Why would you send Mero, who it's pretty much proven they all kind of joke to him about, okay, puppy boy, like, even Harriet, like, she could speed someone out of there real quick, do some Quicksilver stuff. Like, I'm just saying, like, I think everything with this episode is way too coincidental. Way too coincidental. I think there are plot points that may not even be discussed that were there on purpose.
So you think this has something to do with the Aesops
I
specifically, or
absolutely believe
Clover?
so. And it's almost leading me, and this kind of disturbs the theory of Mech 5. I don't think Mero is a mech. What I do think is the other ones are mechs. And he is the only one who's not, which is also why they give him shit. But two, he acts the most human. Clover kind of does as well. But those other four could be in cahoots with Salem. But Ironwood believing they're real, I don't know. I think Mero is not a mech.
Time will tell.
He's got too many, I guess not human, but faunus traits that are so lively, where the rest of them are almost one-dimensional, where he is very multi-directional. I guess you could say so is Penny, but for the main purpose, Penny for the most part is mono-directional as well.
But this episode, right after this scene, we see that change.
And she is so she's beyond emotional. She's almost questioning herself if she actually did it.
See her tearing up and everything.
Well,
Silent.
it makes me wonder though, is if he did like the video distortion and uploaded it to her as well, thinking that she actually did do that.
Because he did hit the upload button at the very end.
Exactly. And I want to know, not only did he upload it to some drive, but did he upload it to her drive? So that she is thinking about everything. She sees herself killing everybody. What Watts did was money. Pristine.
Oh, yeah. I love Watts. I'm loving him so much this volume.
Penny is a bad girl, Mike. She did bad things. There's video evidence showing it.
I'm looking at the upload.
Unlike
now. It does show Penny. Oh,
Mansell
dang.
not having
It does show
evidence
Penny?
on Verity.
Yeah.
I
my
told
God.
you. I was looking at those little details in his screen. He
You were.
uploaded it. Watts is what I paid attention to almost more than the actual battle scene. Because I was like, his movements are so precise.
Yeah, it's her surrounded by a bunch of people on the ground.
Yes.
And did you see that? I guess he was in like one of the probably shut down SDC operation centers. He was just chilling in there.
Yeah, I see the logos going on around.
I didn't notice that. I was looking at his screen. But for the first time, ladies and gentlemen, I have seen a little bit more little details than Connor in an episode. This is groundbreaking. This is more important than Penny's dying soon.
Penny's not dying.
I've been so
You all know,
overwhelmed
you
by
won't see
theories I missed the details. And that's where the real meat and potatoes are here.
Dude, the little details cause more theories.
Mm.
This volume is so theory driven. What's crazy though is a lot of our theories are being proved correct. Which means there's hope for winter.
I was just going to say, especially that winter hacker one, huh?
Well, that one went downhill. But
Well, what wouldn't go downhill? Get it? Because she's hot? That's the joke.
Mero tries to help her, though, and Bulk gets shot at him, though, by her team.
Oh, yeah.
Which to me, was the fucked up situation.
I was so annoyed that Robin's team was so convinced that was Penny and Mero.
Dude, Hill directly, Penny, what did you do? Like, not even like what happened. It was, what did you do?
So fucking stupid.
I mean, if you think about it, it was a very confusing. It was just kind of a jump on them. I mean, it's a very confusing situation. A lot of panic. You kind of understand like just a reactionary type thing just happening there. It's more of a reaction than anything.
Even as a reaction, though, I'm an overly rational human being, so I get that the reactionary, impulse-driven, what the fuck moments don't hit me as much. But I still feel like Hill is someone who is smart, and smart enough to understand something else was going on here. There's no reason for Penny to do this. Why would she attack me? Why would she attack my crew? That doesn't make sense. She's never done anything to do anything like that before, right?
Unless Hill is in cahoots with Jacques, acting like they're enemies, knowing Jacques is gonna win.
And I don't think Hill. I was talking about like her companion or her happy huntresses specifically. Like that was more panic.
The happy huntresses, but one of us is a man. What?
Hey, she's a woman.
It is still that the happy huntresses are all very weird for me, and I think that them trying to push transgender is really the only answer for that character. Because like the new one that we were introduced to, the blue-haired one, I think it was blue-haired. Like that one's played by Caden, the voice actress, and Caden being someone who is trans in real life.
I didn't know that. Well, I knew he was trans. I'm talking about she. Excuse me.
Don't want to get salt for this. There's no clarifying.
The character being voiced by Caden. I didn't know that.
But they still piss me off. I don't like any one of Hill and her crew. I think they're all just terrible and stupid.
I mean, the people of Mansell don't think so.
I mean, some of them do. I mean, clearly Jacques won the election, so.
Ooh, snap. It's too soon. Too soon.
And it is heavily implied that at the very least a decent number of people must have voted for Jacques. Even before the hacking.
I was going to say, they were getting super close. I mean, it was neck and neck almost. I mean, there was still a decent... I think it got to like an 8 or 7% difference before the hacking started. But for all we know, the hacking was being done before, too. So
yeah, could have been either.
Because I just don't get how you go from 67-33 to all of a sudden we're pennies apart.
That's a solid pun.
I didn't mean to do it.
GG.
But then the Grim attack, and that's where the episode ends. And that's why, even though I don't care about what Bumblebee's doing, I'm sure it's probably going to be like next episode, we're going to see them getting involved in the fight. There's something going on at the dance.
Different perspectives.
Yeah, maybe like Neo pops up, does something over there. Maybe Cinder's crew comes back in there.
No.
What about the movie? What happens in it?
And the only reason I think that would make sense is trying to grab Yang while Ruby's not there. Use her as a bartering chip to get Ruby. But even then, since we haven't seen them yet this volume, it'd be a really weird introduction.
Needing to distract Blake. Who would they distract Blake with?
Yang?
Adam.
Well, Adam, what would they distract
Please
with
don't. Nope. We're going to keep trucking. Let's go. Nope.
Are you saying they're going to come back?
We're going to scroll right past this.
No.
No. Nope. All right.
No.
Any other questions, guys? Let me see. Who's the best boy?
But for real, they're dancing. Yang goes to the bathroom, goes to get a drink or something. Adam shows up. Now Blake is distracted, trying to figure out what the hell did I just see Adam. Chases him off. Yang is alone.
Oh, for Neo using her semblance.
Like, okay.
Yeah. I'm not talking about Adam's dead, dude.
That's why I was confused.
That's why I was trying to.
Well, you said Neo, so I was continuing. I'm sorry. I should have.
You gotta give some context. Like, you gotta give some context.
Well, you said Neo. I was continuing that. Yeah, no, he is dead.
Staff of creation can revive people. Who should we revive? Adam!
First person is Adam. Boy,
Staff of creation could bring back Pyrrha.
that sure could.
All the
Maybe.
redheads die.
It's like Star Trek.
That's why Nora's gonna die next. And then Penny.
It's pink.
Nora?
Yep.
Oh,
No, it's
you're talking
orange.
about her hair. I was thinking shirt.
Wait, does that mean Ruby's gonna die too?
Pink hair.
Does that mean Ruby's gotta die too?
Yeah, her hair is kind of reddish, yeah.
All right, Mike, who is your best boy and best girl?
God, it's a hard one.
This
Best girl,
girl.
Penny still. Don't care what happens.
Dude, she did nothing. She's useless. She killed people. Video
who
evidence.
did more? But who did more?
Who did the most?
Like who did more than Penny in this episode for the
I
best
mean,
girl?
The lamb girl did
Technically,
more.
Yang.
Or she-
But I hate them all. I hate all the happy huntresses. I hate Robin, so there's no way they're gonna get best girl from me.
I mean, outside of that, like, there were the small fights in the beginning. So you could say Weiss, maybe she did a decent amount this time. Mine is Penny though. I'm sticking with Penny.
And
best boy. Best boy is gonna be Jean.
Okay.
Didn't really do much, but he went to the movies. We saw it, he can restore his own aura, so that was pretty cool. So I was like, all right.
What about you, Zach?
No, you go first. I gotta hear your bullshit too.
I'm gonna also go with best girl being Penny. She was the only one who did anything this episode on the girl side of things. Because Robin and her happy huntresses, cunts, hate them all. Ruby and Nora didn't do jack shit when the fucking attack happened. Weiss and Winter, I mean, they at least had a combat training. That was cool. And then Blake and Yang, they danced
all night long.
Woo.
Probably in that one club from the
So I'm gonna absolutely say Penny for best girl. For best boy, it's trickier because I want to choose Mero, Watts, and Tyrion. Let's see, to narrow it down. Okay, not Tyrion.
I would have thought you would have picked Tyrion, honestly. That's what I thought you were going to pick.
I thought you were going to pick him too.
He was so good in this episode, but it's just, if he said more, I would have probably picked him. I loved Mero's conversation with Hill, but I don't think it's not going to be him. I love Watts too much. I love his hacking. Watts is best boy.
Watts is my best boy as well. When it comes to best girl, they were all useless this episode.
Just choose Penny.
All of them. I'm not picking Penny. She's
Penny,
no.
man.
She was the least useless, though.
Nora. I'm saying Nora. You want to know why? Because despite being consistently shit on, she still went in for the kiss. And that takes guts. Because she could have been rejected.
This is true. You make a solid point with that one. It's just a damn shame that kiss is going to seal her death.
Yeah. But, well, no, I'm saying Ren. But
it's the kiss of death.
This volume,
okay, how many flags are
shit on. She gets treated like a true ginger. And it's not fair.
Yeah. Ren's too focused. Now he's going to finally realize that he's in love with her.
It's too late.
And then she's going to die.
All right.
He already realizes it. He's been trying to deny it this whole time. He's like, yeah, I don't want to talk about it. Because the truth of the matter is, he knows he's in love with her. But he knows if he shows it and he invests into a relationship, it's going to cause them to both, either one or both of them, to be in danger. Which is probably what's going to happen again. Because it just happened.
Oh, man. Well, what about ratings for the episode?
I'm giving 10 out of 10.
9 out of 10. I mean, a 9 out of 10. A lot happened and it was good, but not as much as like that last episode. Last episode, they were just like, here you go. We're going to give you this. We can give you a little bit of this and a little bit of this on the side.
Well, this is indeed a first then, because I'm also going 10 out of 10. Mike had the lowest rating on this one. Okay.
See, I gotta give it 10 out of 10 because we saw the heroes be useless. And it's the first time in RWBY that we truly see every single one of the heroes, or on the good side, be useless. Now, we don't know what happens with the other guys, but like in that scene, useless. And you see how powerful the allies of Salem are, of what they can do.
Which is what I like to see. I'm so sick of the villains being worthless. My name's Adam. I'm faster and stronger, and I got power of friendship to death. My name's Lionheart.
No,
I'm a coward.
All right, so was he
Yeah.
truly a villain? I mean, he was just kind of like sucked up into it all.
Because of him, all the huntsmen in Mistral are dead. Yes, he's a villain.
Yes, he's evil, but can we put him on the level of a villain? He's more of like a flunky.
He's the assistant to the villain.
Yeah.
Gets the coffee.
Like he's indirectly responsible.
He's
but
an intern.
blood is on his hands. But
And
I didn't
everywhere else
consider
on
him a
him.
villain. Yeah. Well, yeah, everyone else on him.
But what did we learn this episode? Zootopia. We learned about Penny being bad.
Yeah.
Because
We
unlike
learned that-
Verity, they have video evidence. So
Yeah. We learned that sometimes the girl has to kiss the guy when he's being a fucking emotional recluse.
I mean, in his defense, like, had that whole situation not happened, I feel like Ren would have done something here, and he would have been best boy. But
Maybe it's gonna fuck with his semblance. Maybe he won't be able to calm himself down anymore. I'd like to see that.
someone's testosterone running.
Yeah. Well, I think that really covers everything. Lots that went on this time. Over an hour for that recording.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm excited for what's gonna happen next. We're getting the hints and hints of darker tones. It's just like Volume 3. Get ready for the death, because it's coming.
Penny will not die. She will never die again. Ever.
Fine, she'll be hacked.
If you're also in denial, be sure to call this number.
Told you, I'm just going to end the episode at that moment. And she'll never die. Somebody's going to come up and be like, did you see Penny die? And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't see that.
She's going to be like sniped without even knowing it, so you're not going to have time to pause the episode.
It's going to be so sad.
Oh man, if Ruby has to take down, if she has to take Penny down, that's going to be so, it's going to be tragic, and I can't wait for it. I love it.
My question is, who's going to realize it? Who's going to realize it first?
I think Penny's going to realize it. And I think she's going to be able to tell Ruby. I don't think he's going to be able to hack her voice. I think Penny will still be able to talk, but she's going to be fighting Ruby.
If it's Watts' voice coming out of Penny, I'm going to love it.
I'm going to flip out.
So you're the girl with the silver eyes. Penny? Something up?
GG.
I'm also really happy about the fact that Watts and Penny actually haven't met yet. I just like that.
Have.
Not that we've seen.
I mean, like way in the past.
Maybe Watts is her dad.
Wow, what a plot twist that would be. I don't even know how I would react to that.
That'd be so stupid.
Like, what kind of a plot twist is that?
Has it been confirmed that Pietro's dead?
No, he's still alive.
I think
So with him being alive, it is potential that Penny could go in being like, did this really happen? Like, what happened to me? And he could find a backup drive of not the edited version, or see that something was uploaded. And that could break this down. I don't know.
I mean, when it comes down to it, like, that's against, like, probably the protocol that he designed her with. So it would have, under normal circumstances, been impossible for her to do that. Which I think he would know.
Well, maybe they're only using free antivirus as opposed to like.
I mean, if she's
They're using
hackable
a
at all, that
vast.
means that her security is definitely not up there.
So for sure, he would know that she was hacked, and that this wasn't by her own will.
There would be a
according to the
log
program.
somewhere.
I was just saying, like, with the fact it said probably like her original design in her programming. That's something outside of her original design to be able to harm people.
The 3 laws of robotics. Just saying, we haven't seen Mero or Penny attack any innocent people yet.
Oh my goodness.
I'm still hoping for Mech 5. The evidence is lining up. I'm waiting for it.
I just hope that it's Mech 5 alternate theory, where they all control like a giant robot instead.
Like Voltron or Jesus.
Power Rangers.
Maybe that's why Mero's the joke. He's just like the fucking
left leg.
I was gonna say just like the fucking, what would that be? Like the thighs.
pelvis?
So he's got the dick region.
Or a finger. He's the left pinky.
He's got a single finger.
All right, guys. Can you imagine just being like in a suit and like, yeah, like, all right, let's go. You go left and right.
But like, imagine if he messed up, like they dropped their weapon. Because Mero, you had one job.
Or maybe he's the thumb, so he's required to hold the weapon. And he moves to the left and they drop it.
Harriet would be the feet. Harriet would be the legs. Elm could be the feet. Clover could be like the body and head, because the leader's usually always there.
Vine would be arms.
Vine would be arms. Just saying, he could be the hands, because of Stay. It matches with all of their semblances. Did I just prove this theory further?
Such a dumb way to have a robot set up. You control the arms and someone else controls the hands.
Yeah, there's 5 people. Like, there's 4 limbs and head. So it only makes sense.
I'm not
Each person
saying
has their own
Mars
limb.
the worst Power Ranger ever.
That'd be terrible. I would hate to get in the suit too. Like every time I would dread it. I'd be like, all right, man. Like, yeah, let's get in. Oh, I can only control these hands. I guess I'm gonna make sure we can hold the weapon. Or we somehow lose a weapon.
But if he uses his hands to Stay, like that's pretty powerful.
I mean, I feel like he could do that without like controlling a robot.
So, I'm just saying, it'd be like the equivalent of the whole, it's like Tyrannosaurus, Mastodon, Triceratops, Saber-tooth tiger, Pterodactyl, Dodo.
It's like the worst.
Jeez, Pete.
All right. Let's end things there. Thanks for watching, everybody. Be sure to tune in next week for our next discussion. I'm sure it's just gonna get darker from here.
Or brighter. I'm sure that nightclub has some cool lights.
Oh, maybe we're gonna get the return of Melanie and Milsha.
Yes, please. And that bartender.
Oh yeah, Junior.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's gonna see Blake and Yang dancing. He's gonna be like, "She used to grab my dick that way." I'm sorry, I still hate Yang for that scene.
That sweet yellow trailer.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Be sure to let us know whether you did or didn't by using those like buttons, the comments, or subscribing. And make sure you also spread it around to all of your friends, too. I'd also like to thank our patrons. With support like yours, we're able to slowly improve on our content, so thank you so much for supporting us. If you're not already a patron and you'd like to support us directly, be sure to check out our Patreon in the description below. We have rewards like stickers, shirts, behind-the-scenes content, and even the ability to make a major character to join in one of our D&D campaigns. Well, once again, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.